Right. So this is the revision paper that I prepared to cover all the concepts you learn in chapter 1, right? In your grade 7 textbook, chapter 1, working with numbers. So then that here we have 45 questions to cover the whole chapter, right? So then the part by part I have segregated them that according to the concept and the things we want to test, and altogether we have 45 questions here, right? So then what I'm planning to do that I will explain that the first 5 questions, then likewise, you can see the questions here that separately you can have this PDF also. So I will write the answers on another paper because that here I don't have enough space. So we will move to the questions, and then before going for the questions, that if you are watching this video, that if you are in the class, whatever it is, that first before looking at the answers, please check whether you have done the first 5 questions. That you should do it by yourself. Then only you want to look at the answers. Otherwise, no point of just looking at the answers like you are watching a movie. So then first you want to try by yourself and see whether that you can do them alone, and that when you're looking at the answers and when you're watching the discussion, then you can see, okay, that what are the mistakes I have done and what are the missing steps, right? Because that the steps I have told you many times that the steps and the workings. So it is very, very important when you move ahead that you move forward, that you go up in the ladder, because when it comes to the O-level exams, the marks will be allocated with the steps. Okay, without wasting time, straight away we will move to the questions. The question number 1 that I will write the answers here, that I will use the pink pen. The question number 1, we want to find the value 2 to the power 3. We know that when you have something like this, that the base value 2, I should multiply 3 times, and you want to show this expansion. 3 is the index, 2 is the base value. Then I want to multiply the base value 2 3 times. So then 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. So then the question number 2, that I have 5 to the power 0. Hope you can remember that any base value to the power 0 always gives us the answer 1. It may be 3 to the power 0, 4 to the power 0, x to the power 0, half to the power 0, maybe a whole number, maybe a letter, maybe a fraction, maybe a decimal. Whatever the base value, if the index is 0, always your answer is equal to 1. So then the third one, that we will move to the third question, it is 4 to the power 1. The answer is equal to 4. Here, what is the theory we want to learn? That whatever the base value to the power 1, if the index is 1, always the answer is equal to the base value. 2 to the power 1 is equal to 2. 3 to the power 1 is equal to 3. 4 to the power 1 is equal to 4. X to the power 1 is equal to x. Then m to the power 1 is equal to m. So whatever it is, the base value, if the index is 1, your answer will be equal to the base value. The question number 2, whatever the base value, if the index is 0, always the answer is 1. Irrespective of the base value, that always we get the answer 1. So then we will move to question number 4 here, that they see whether you have followed the steps. That when you have this kind of question, 10 to the power 2, first of all, you want to solve this part, that the 10 times 10, and we know it is 100. And we rewrite the question, 7.2 multiplied by 100. And then that you want to move the decimal man to the right side 2 steps. I'm telling you, even though I'm using these terms, decimal man is not moving anywhere, only the values of the digits and the place values are changing. But for your easy reference, we use a term that the decimal man is moving to the right side when it is multiplication, and the decimal man is moving to the left side when it is a division. That it's kind of a phrase we use for easy reference, but mathematically the conceptual thing that the decimal man is not moving anywhere, When you're multiplying by 10, 100 and 1000, the digit value, the place values, the things are changing, not the decimal man. But according to our easy reference, the terms that we can say that the decimal man is moving to right side 2 steps because it is 100, we have 2 zeros. So then what will happen that it becomes 720.0. You can see it has come 2 steps, but no point of writing the answer with the 0 at the end. So I conclude my answer as 720. So then I will move to the fifth question that we'll see that what is the fifth question. It is 385. It is 385, sorry, 85, 10 to the power 3. 3 not 385, it's my mistake. 3.85 times 10 to the power 3. What we should do, children, we want to solve this part, that is 10 to the power 3. I write that the 10 times 10 times 10, that will be 1000. I rewrite the question. How I'm going to rewrite the question? 3.85 multiply by 1000. And this will be that the 3000. Now you just see for children that we have 3 zeros. That means we want to move 3 steps to the right side. But when we are jumping 3 steps to the right side, we have only 2 digits to jump. So then to get the third jump, we don't have a digit. When we don't have a digit to get the third jump, so then we can put an imaginary zero and get the movement. So then that becomes 3850.0, and you conclude the answer 3850. And when you are watching this or when you are looking at this, sometimes you think that do I really need to do all these steps to get the full marks? So I would say that if you have taken the different school branches or the different teachers, they do have different marking criteria. But I'm teaching here you that the best possible way, because that your ultimate target is not that the grade 7 semester exam or the monthly test or the formative assessment or whatever it is. Your ultimate goal should be the Edexcel O-Level, Cambridge O-Level or National O-Level. For that, we want to practice each and everything that according to the steps where you get the marks for each and every steps. So this is the beginning. Therefore, that if you feel that no, I have not done all these steps, but I have taken the last step, so then I should get the full marks. Yes, you can be happy for the time being, but then finally, one fine day, that you will be regret that okay, so then I am going to lose marks because that I have not practiced with the steps. Therefore, so from the beginning, I'm telling you children, please remember that keep this in your mind. Do the sums with the steps. Show you all the workings. So then the person who is marking your paper, he or she knows, okay, that particular child that he has done or she has done this with the correct concepts. Right. So then we will move to question number 6. Right. So then the question number 6, what you have that you want to write this as a single index number. So when you have that the 2 to the power 3 and you multiply it by, 2 to the power of 3 and 2 to the power of 5. So then you can see the multiplication, you can see the same base value. When you can see the multiplication and the same base value, what we are doing, children, so then we add the indices and you want to show it like this and you get the answer 2 to the power 8. And here you don't want to find the value because in the question they have mentioned us and they have asked us to keep the answer in index form, right? And the other thing you want to remember in the exam, that read the question instruction carefully, whether they are asking us to write the answer in the index form or the value form. And because these are two different forms of answers. That if you are writing the answer in index form, that you don't want to expand and get the value. And if you want to write the answer in value form, that whatever the final answer, you want to expand and you want to get the value. But here, the question instruction specifically mentioned to keep the answer in single index as a single index number. So then we don't want to worry. We just add the indices. 3 plus 5, it is 8. The final answer is 2 to the power of 8. So then we will move to the question number 7. It is a to the power of 3 and a to the power of 2. That it doesn't matter whether the base is a number or a letter. If they have the same base value and if it is a multiplication, what we should do, children, that a to the power 3 plus 2, the answer is a to the power of 5, right? Again, that you want to keep the answer in index form, but here that even though they have asked us to find the value, we can't find the value because we don't know the value of base A, right? So then we just have to keep it that as an index number because we don't know the value of the base or the value of A. So then here we don't want to worry that somehow they have asked us to keep it as an index number. So then the question number 8, you have 4 to the power of 5 divided by 4 to the power of 3. And this is again that the same base value, but this time it is a division. If it is a base value, the same base value and the division, what we are doing, we are subtracting the indices. That the 5 subtract 3, the answer is 4 to the power of 2. Right? Again, that you don't want to get the answer 16 because here we are keeping the answer in index form. That the 5 minus 3, it is 2. The answer is 4 to the power of 2. Then the question number 9, they ask that the p to the power of 3 divided by p to the power of 2. This is a good question, children. That the p to the power of 3 minus 2, that purposely I created this question because that you write the answer p to the power of 1. We know the p to the power of 1 is equal to p, right? So you think, so then I know that the better than all my colleagues, so then I want to write a better answer. So then my teacher will be happy and that you are going to write p to the power 1 is equal to p. But you don't get the marks for that because that if you write p, that is the value of the answer, children. If they have asked you to write that the index form, you won't, even though the p to the power 1 is equal to p, you keep the answer as p to the power 1, right? Keep these things, these tricky things in your mind because that you are going to lose marks because of these careless mistakes, right? That you just quickly do, okay, the p to the power 1 is equal to p, then you just write it. But you don't get the marks because that they have asked us to keep the answer in index form. So then you just write it as p to the power 1. And the other one, let's say that you have 2 multiplied by 2 to the power 3. And here, I want to rewrite this question. 2 means 2 to the power of 1 and 2 to the power of 3. Then only I can add the indices. So then here, 1 plus 3, the answer is 4, 2 to the power of 4. See that whether you have followed the steps and whether you have adhered to the question instructions. And for an example, I will take an additional question with this that see if you have something like this, 2 to the power of 3 divided by 2 to the power of 3. Let's say, what is the answer, children? That we can write 2 to the power of 3 minus 3. The answer is 2 to the power of 0. We know 2 to the power of 0, it is 1. But according to the instruction given in this question, if you have a sum like this, which I have written in black color, you are supposed to write your answer as 2 to the power of 0. By any chance, if they have asked you to write the value, then you can write that 2 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Till then, you can't go that the further steps that you just stop there 2 to the power of 0, that is the answer in index 4. Then we will move to question number 11, right? We will move to question number 11. So there we have to deal with the negative indices, right? So be mindful when we are dealing with the negative indices. So then if you have that if something like this and 5 to the power negative 2 and you want to get the value. So first of all, you want to convert the negative index into positive index. right? You want to convert negative index into positive index. How you are going to do that? You get the reciprocal 1 over 5 to the power of 2. And then we write that the 1 over 5 times 5. And then I write 1 over 25. So this is the value. By any chance that if you want to write this as a positive index, you can stop there 1 over 5 to the power of 2. But here they have asked us to write the value. So then first I converted the negative index into positive index. How can I do that? I get the reciprocal of this index number 1 over 5 to the power of 2. 5 to the power of 2 means that we want to multiply 5 2 times. 5 times 5, it is 25. So then we will move to question number 12. So then there it is 2 to the power of negative 3. You do the same thing. 1 over 2 to the power of 3. Then we write that the 1 times 2 times 2 times 2. And the answer is 1 over 8. Okay. Then we will move to question number 13. And that they have asked a to the power negative 2. And we can write that the 1 over a to the power 2. Or that if need, you can write that. Normally we don't write it like this. A times a. You can keep it as the 1 over a to the power of 2. That's it. We can't get the value because we don't know the value of a. Right? So then we will move to question number 14. And see how I'm doing it. Question number 14, we have 5.28 multiplied by 10 to the power of negative 2. So I get this 10 to the power of negative 2. I write first 10 to the power of 2. So that means it is 1 over 100. Look at this carefully. Right? So then I write that rewrite the question 5.28 multiplied by 1 over 100. If you multiply something 1 over 100, that means 5.28 divide by 100, right? So then when you're dividing a decimal number by 100, how many steps that you should jump to the left side? 2 steps. So then that becomes 0.0528. After writing the answer that you just check in mind that whether I have come 2 steps. Yes, it was there that the in between 5 and 2, that the 1, 2, yes, I have come 2 steps. So then this is my correct answer. Then the question number 15, I have 4.08, 10 to the power of negative 1. The same thing we should do. First, I write this as a positive index, 10 to the power of 1. That means 1 over 10. And I rewrite the question 4.08 multiplied by 1 over 10. And if it is 1 over 10 that 4.08 divide by 10. So then the answer is 0.408 because this time you want to go only one step, right? So I will show you all the questions one more time. Yeah. So this is from 11 to 15. Right. So then we will move to question number 16. And question number 16, it is 4 to the power of 2 divided by 4 to the power of 4. That what is the concept that you want to recall, children? You have the same base. You have the division. If you have the same base value and if you have the division, what you are supposed to do, that you write that the 2 minus 4, that you want to subtract the indices. So then here they have asked us to find the value. So then I write 4 to the power negative 2. Here that read the question carefully, they have asked us to write the answer in value form. So then what I do, I rewrite this that the 1 over 4 to the power of 2. So that means 1 over 4 times 4. My final answer is 1 over 16. So then you want to understand. So this is the Answer in index form, right? Answer in index form, right? So then by any chance that if they have asked that to write the answer in positive index, so then that this is answer with the positive index, right? With a positive index. And this one, answer in value form. You don't want to write all, but I took this as answer in value. So I took this as an example to explain you everything, right? So then it's more than enough that if you have that you don't want to show the arrows and draw the arrows and write. No, that you just do the steps and show your answer. It is 1/16. So then the next question, that the question number 17, right? The question number 17, it is 2 to the power of 2 divided by 2 to the power of 5. Again, we do the same thing that we want to deduct the indices 2 minus 5. The answer is 2 to the power of -3. And we write 1/2 to the power of 3, right? So then we can write that means that the 1/2 times 2 times 2. So answer is 1/8. Right? So this is how you want to get the answer, that value, right? So then we will move to question number 18. In question number 18, we have that the 1/3 to the power -1. That what I ask you to do, if you have a negative index, children, you want to convert the negative index into positive index. To convert negative index into positive index, what we are supposed to do? We want to get the reciprocal of the number. So this becomes that the 3/1 and to the power 1. So that means it is 3/1. That means the answer is 3. That we just look at the question number 19. And if you have 2/3, and here you have to the power -2, the first I want to convert the -2 into +2. For that, I want to get the reciprocal. So then that becomes 3/2. And I write it like this. And we know that when we have something like this, what does this mean? We want to write the base value 2 times. The answer is 9/4. And you can write this as a mixed number also, or else you can keep it as 9/4, that's fine. If not, you can keep it as a mixed number like this, right? So then both are okay, that if you have written that 9/4, that is also okay. So then the last one that you just see, you have 5.99, 10 to the power 0. 10 to the power 0 means that the 10 to the power 0 is equal to 1. I told you any base value to the power 0, it is equal to 1. So then the 10 to the power 0 means 1. So then I rewrite the question 5.99 multiplied by 1. So then the final answer is 5.99. Okay, so then that we have discussed 20 questions here, and that we want to discuss another 25 questions as we have 45 questions in the paper. So then I will take it as a separate recording. So then that the first 20 question, it's like this. What you want to do, that before your formative assessment in the school, please go through all the questions and all the steps and do your best to write all the steps. By any chance, let's say that still you don't know that what is the format of the formative assessment, because that is the first time you are getting that kind of paper, that I believe it is very similar to the monthly test paper structure, but we don't know. Let's say that they have given the questions that without having much space. So then what you can do, you have right to draw the working column in the right side in your paper, and you do your workings at whatever the workings I have shown here, and you can bring the final answer to the space they have provided. If the spaces are not enough to write all these steps, so then you are not having that enough spaces doesn't mean that you can skip the steps. You should do the steps, but you want to find an alternative space to do this. So you go to the right side corner and taking your longer ruler on the exam day, you draw a separate line, call the rough work column or the working column, and do all these steps in the working column steps. So then the working column itself. So then final answer you transfer to the space we have given. And one more thing you want to keep in your mind, children, when you're transferring like that, so you're in the exam stress, so you want to translate properly. Maybe that the 720, you just bring it as 72. Maybe 730. Or sometimes you just write that the 720 as 7,200. So double check whether you have transferred the correct amount that when you're getting it like this. So then the rest of the question 25, the 21 to 45, I will take it as a separate recording. So then in this recording, you have from question number 1 to 20, and that this is the chapter 1, that the revision paper.